I'm just going to show you how to use a grey card to make a neutral exposure and colour balance. You just take the grey card, just window light, you just take a photograph of it, and then import into Lightroom, and you'll get something like this. Let's have a look. This is one I prepared earlier, as they say. What I've done with it is photograph the grey card. Let me just zoom out so you can have a look. It's quite an old grey card, as you can see. We've got a lot of marks on there. It is 15 years old. I used to use this for black and white photography as a reference tool to find mid-grey, and it is more useful than ever now in digital photography to find mid-grey. Just look over to the histogram and you can see, because we've got all the white around, you've got my hand, the histogram looks a bit confused. If I just zoom in on that, and we just go for just the grey card, all of a sudden the histogram is just showing a mid-grey. It's dead centre, it's not far off. What I've done then is I've just tweaked it in Lightroom, and this is what we've come up with. This is the grey card reading. You know it's mid-grey because the readings under the histogram are saying RGB, and it's saying 50.6, 50.5 and 50%. And so you're near enough exactly got a mid-tone. Another way you can do it, as we've shown on other videos, is take your picker tool, come over onto the grey, let's get over to the area I was before, and we find the exact mid-grey, not far off, 49.6, 49.5, 49.1. So we'll click on that, and we've done two things. We've got a perfect exposure, and we've got a perfect white balance, and that's just using the grey card. Now that is for the light falling on the grey card, so you could then stand a model exactly where I've just put the grey card, use these settings. I'm at an 1/8 at 5.6 at ISO 400. As you can see from the info, I know you'd be using probably a 30th, 60th and sort of 200, 100 area, but it just gives you a reference tool for finding the mid-grey, and it gives you a reference for the light falling onto the subject. If you did this at the start of your session, if you're using flash or ambient light, you could then just use it as a reference. It's a great technique. Very difficult for weddings, as I've said in previous videos. We just find the mid-grey. There's lots around. Keep an eye on the white balance, as in when you're in the church. Look at the lighting. But if you've got control over your light, and you know you've got a window, which I have here, it's about a 1 metre square softbox really. It's an ideal softbox. You can use it for portraiture. Then this is a good technique. But you'll know when you've got a mid-grey. Use a mid-grey card. You can make one yourself. You can buy them on the internet. They sell collapsible grey reference cards. Lastalite do them. They're all good, but I'm still using one from about 15 years ago. I think I bought this just after I started getting into fine art photography, and as you can see there's a lot of marks on it. So what I do is put it on an infinity lens, and that just takes out all these marks for you. Okay, so I hope that's some help and you're getting the hang of mid-grey. If you've got any questions at all about white balance, exposure, Lightroom, just leave some comments below, or give me an email. Come to pureprincetraining.co.uk, come onto the blog. We've got a newsletter, and you can subscribe to the newsletter, and I'll keep sending them out and keep making as many videos as I can. Thanks a lot.